What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's good to see you tonight on the Speak and See Show. I ask you like, subscribe, and click that notification button so that when I get information out, you can get information in. Now, I am going to go over a clip today with you that may bring some hopium to those people who were affected by not getting their EIDL grants, affected by the policy map, which is why I've been calling senators on everybody's behalf, on the small business world's behalf. All of you out there deserve that $10,000. I am trying to help you get that still. I am not backing down from this. I know that a lot of people have tapped out as far as the views aren't coming, so I'm not going to do any videos, but I do my homework here. I've always done my homework, and I've always found more information for this EIDL grant for you. We've managed to get, I believe, over $50 billion put back into the EIDL grant program by ways and means of communicating with our congressmen and senators and getting them to put these bills on the floor that will deliver this money to you. So now we need one thing. What? Can somebody say, hey, I want my 10K?
Yeah.
Now, this clip that I'm going to show you has Dr. Rand Paul, and he's the ranking member of the U.S. Senate Committee of Business Small Entrepreneurship. You got Ben Cardin, majority. He's the ranking member of the majority. He's the leader of the Oversight Committee for SBA. Then you got Rand Paul. He's the minority ranking member, kind of like last year it was Rubio. He was the majority, and Cardin was the minority. Well, this year, Cardin, the Democrats win, so Cardin takes the majority leader, and Rand Paul scooped in there to take the minority ranking member for small businesses who oversee the money that gets dispersed into the SBA and where it goes. Now, we just had a new member of the SBA assigned, Mark Madrid. He is the Associate Administrator of the SBA of Entrepreneurial and Development Program. Now, as you'll see in this video, I'm going to show you Rand Paul was questioning Mr. Madrid and trying to get some answers on his transparency as to where this money is going. But later on in the video, something caught my ear. I've been calling Rand Paul. I called his office and talked to him, not to him, but a staff member said, hey, are we going to look into this policy map thing? And said, we'll give you the message. Give him the message. But the thing is, you end up getting these emails back saying, so glad you contacted our office. Please be aware that we are doing all these. Then they give you something that's totally not even pertaining to the question you asked them over the phone or via email, however you want to do it. But I do my phone calls, and I'll probably call them during this segment again just to make it fun. But as Rand Paul was questioning the SBA administrator of Office Entrepreneurial and Development, he couldn't get clear answer as to where the money was going. And in one of his questions, he came back and asked, we need to know the geographic distribution of the funds. Yeah, right? I'll let you watch it, but I'm not even going to edit this because it's almost funny, but it's not, because it's so like the closed book the SBA has always been. You know, they're a closed book. You can't get any answers from any of them as far as what's going on. One day your portal's open, and the next day it's shut. The next day they're going to give you the money. The next day they won't, and you just don't know until something, boom, it happens. You either got it or you didn't. So I'm going to play this clip for you, and I want you to let me know what you think about this.
Do you believe the taxpayer has a right to know how you spend their money?
There's the bell, and the match is officially on its way.
Dr. Paul, thank you for that question. We, in the Office of Entrepreneurial Development, our purview is helping our small business navigate through their taxes. We're not in tax policy. So
No, we're not talking about tax policy. I'm talking about the citizens. Do the citizens of the United States have a right to know how you're spending their money?
Well, in our area, we're focused on developing entrepreneurs.
No, this is a transparency question. Do you think the citizens of the United States, through their representatives, have a right to get information from you and your department about how you're spending the money?
My purview is to assist our resource partner network and the community.
No, it's sort of a yes or no. I don't think you're getting the question. It's a real simple question. The answer is yes, of course the citizens do, but you can't say that?
I can attest to what we're doing at the Office of Entrepreneurial Development.
No, but I mean, it's a more general question. Do the citizens of the United States have the right to know how you are spending their money?
Dr. Paul, I can shine the light on what we're doing at OED. And, in terms of tax preparation, materials that we
Now,
have.
this is a really general question just on transparency. Do the citizens of the United States, through their representative, have the right to ask questions about how you're spending their money?
I'm here to answer any questions that you have on the
So
Office of Entrepreneurial.
it's a yes or no. Can you acknowledge that, yes, citizens have a right and an expectation to know how their money is spent by organizations? That's why you come here. It's for oversight. It's a very general question. It's not accusing you of anything. It's just saying, do citizens have the right to know how you're spending their money?
Dr. Paul, I would love to just shed some more light on the Office of Entrepreneurial Development.
But you can't answer whether or not citizens have the right to know how you're spending the money.
I'd be happy to talk about our tax preparation classes with our resource partners.
But you can't acknowledge, yes or no, whether citizens have the right and the expectation through their representatives, Republicans and Democrats, to ask you for information on how money is spent. That's a yes or no question. It's a very basic question about transparency, but I'm not hearing you answer yes or no.
Dr. Paul, would love to tell you more about what we're doing at the Office of Entrepreneurial Development. I'm energized to be here and talk about our programs throughout the country.
But this sounds like you're obfuscating the issue and you're not willing to answer that there is sunlight and that you're open to any kind of scrutiny by representatives as to how you're spending the money. You don't believe that citizens have the right to understand how you're spending money and to ask questions through their representatives about how you spend the money?
Dr. Paul, I'm here to answer any questions that you have on
But I'm asking you, do citizens have the right to know that? And you're giving me some other answer that isn't an answer to the question. This is a question, do citizens have the right to expect you to answer questions about how your money is spent?
Dr. Paul, I'm here to answer any questions that you have on the fulfillment of our OED programs that include the resource partner footprint, the community navigator.
Let the record know that the witness is refusing to answer a very basic question about transparency. The reason I ask this question is we sent you questions back in the beginning of the summer about the Community Navigator program. These are not political questions that I know of. How many organizations applied for funds under the Community Navigators program? That question was asked in the beginning of last summer. We asked again in November, and we haven't had answers. I think your staff decided to send us some piece of paper today or yesterday, still not answering that question. What's the geographic distribution of states and localities covered by each grantee? These are not even politically charged questions that we sometimes encounter, but you can't even answer whether or not citizens have an expectation to get answers from you, and then when we ask questions, you don't answer them. That to me is serious breach of your duty as a civil servant. You can't answer a question on sunlight, and then when we send you written questions of an objective nature, you refuse to answer the questions. You don't even respond to us. I mean, that is utterly contemptuous and disregarding of representative government.
Dr. Paul, we did answer your letter, so I would be happy to answer.
When was the answer? When was the questions answered?
We will get back to your office, but I know that we answered.
No, the questions that I just asked you, the two questions, we got something yesterday or today from your office when you knew you were going to be here and have to answer some questions. You resisted for months sending any answer, but you still haven't answered the two questions that I just outlined. I do not believe we've got an answer for either one of those questions.
Well, Dr. Paul, we believe in transparency, and we did respond to your question.
No more questions.
Let me point out, I believe the,
So you're saying there's a chance? Yeah, I am. I am saying there's a chance. You know, I remember when I was doing a live EIDL grant, we were calling congressmen and senators, and Meet Kevin, and this was before the second round of EIDL grants was put into play because they had run out of money. Meet Kevin came on and was chatting with us in the chat group on my live stream that I was doing, and I was saying, look, man, we're going to get this money put into the American Heroes Act. We're going to get more money for the grants. He says, no, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to come back with EIDL. They're not. And it was everybody was downplaying it. They weren't going to come back with money. Jason McElhone was the only one that said, yeah, we're going to get it back. We're going to get it back. And he was the only one really pushing to get it back. The other people were like, well, if we get it back, great, but I don't think it's going to happen. Well, we did get it back. They ended up putting another $40 billion in the American Heroes Act for the EIDL grant program, $30 billion and another $10 billion. So $40 billion came back for that. So when people are just saying, you're not going to get it, you're not going to get it, I'd listen to that once. If we would have listened to it, we wouldn't have got it. The people wouldn't have gotten it in 2022. I'm sorry, 2021. They would have just been left over with the end of 2020, and that would have been it. So millions of people would not have gotten that grant. Now, still, millions more can get the grant as long as we play it. And from what Rand Paul said, he said, what's the geographic distribution between the states and localities covered by the grantee? What's the geographic distribution? That's what we got to know. That's what we need to know. Does even Rand Paul know about the policy map? I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. But if he doesn't and he plays that card, then he can be looking at, another notch on his bedpost for the election coming up in 2022. So I'm going to give him a call again because I've been talking to his office. I don't know if they've been, hearing our messages or this and that, but just to hear him say, yeah, what's the geographic location? Maybe they are getting that little bird chirping in their ear about something's wrong here. So let's go ahead and give Rand Paul's office a call. I'll put the number up. What's my recent call? I called him before, so we should be able to, it's 202-224-4343. Let's give him a call. See what happens. Check 1, 2. Okay.
Hello. Thank you for calling the office of Senator Rand Paul. Your call is very important to us. Unfortunately, right now, we are unable to get to the phone, but if you would please leave your name and a brief message, we will be sure to review it shortly. Thank you and have a great day.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Paul and staff members of Rand Paul's office. Thank you for doing all you're doing. And I would just like to say, I saw the video today that in Congress when Rand Paul talked to Mark Madrid, the Associate Administrator of the SBA for the entrepreneurial development. And I noticed Rand Paul had asked that question of what's the geographic distribution between the states and localities covered by the each grantee. And I know the geographic distribution is very important. It's very important for the EIDL grant as well, because a policy map was put into play where over 75% of the area in America did not receive their EIDL grants for small businesses that were just taken out of the equation to get that $10,000 EIDL grant. So literally people across the street weren't getting it because of the policy map and the geographical distribution of the grants that were going out in the EIDL $10,000 grant. So I was just wondering if you were going to be pushing for helping these small businesses receive that money that they were promised in the CARES Act and once again in the American Heroes Act before the policy map took them out of play to get that money and the proceeds that they needed to get them through this the pandemic. A lot of them have made it through it, but they're still in financial trouble and debt because of they did not receive this grant that was promised to them. So if I could please, I want to thank you for all you're doing, but really push for this EIDL grant, the policy map to be removed and the money to be dispersed to all geographic locations in America. It was just a prejudice map to be put out, and I just like to know if we're going to be seeing you help push for the small businesses in America to receive what they were supposed to get. Well, I want to thank you for all you're doing once again, and you guys have a blessed day. Bye bye. Okay, and that's it, guys. That's how you do it. Like I said, I put the number up here. That's Rand Paul's office. I call congressmen and senators all the time looking to get answers for this, and I usually get the same answers that the SBA just gave Rand Paul, non-answers, or they'll give you an email they'll email you something that has nothing to do with the question that you asked. Like Rand Paul is acting like he is the victim there of somebody not answering questions. Well, we're all victims of the Congress and Senate not answering our questions as well. We get different answers from what we ask them. And we're just looking to make the level playing field here and get these EIDL grants for you. But I just want to say, man, we're going to keep pushing for it. And I know that there's millions and millions of small businesses out there that need this money, that didn't get this money, and just feel like the government just turned their back on you. But don't worry, we're here. We're a big community. I've met a lot of friends, made a lot of friends, and some of you have become even family members. And I want to say, way to go for you guys who have gotten your grants and loans and are still sticking around for the fight for the rest of us to get it. And just keep on fighting this good fight, and we're going to keep on punching for this EIDL grant. Hopefully we can get S513 back on the floor. It still has the till the end of this year in order to make it to the floor of the Senate as well. If that makes it to the floor of the Senate, we'll see once again appropriations made in order for you guys to get that $10,000 EIDL grants. And I am going to keep pushing for you. I really know you guys need it out there, and I just want to say thanks for watching. I miss you all, love you all. You guys have a blessed week. And somebody say, hey, I still want my 10K.
Somebody, give it to me. Somebody, give it to me. Yeah.
Somebody say, hey, we want a 10K.
Yeah.
Hey, we want a 10K.
Yeah.
Hey, we want a 10K.
Yeah.
Hey, we want a 10K.
Give it to me.
Me and my friends, we like to play this game. Some call us annoying, but we think it's a shame. All find time to chat and go live and get with the House and Senate on the phone and online. We even tweet the press when we feel like we're stuck on Bill S513. They'll say you're out of luck, but I think that it's time that they hear our voice and then we say it louder because it's our choice. We say